Hi guys, this is Miss Latios, and today we're going to read my absolute favorite Martin Luther King book. Now, this book is called The Cart That Carried Martin, and it's written by Eve Bunting. It's illustrated by Don Tate. This is a biography. If you could see here, it has the B, and so that means that this book is a true story. This really happened. Okay, so it has beautiful illustrations. Let's start. The cart was old. Its paint had faded. It was for sale outside of Cook's Antiques and Stuff. Nobody wanted it. And then two men came along. This is exactly what we're looking for, one said. We'll buy it. But the store was closed. They came by again. The store was still closed. We'll borrow it, the first man said. We can't do that, the other replied. We can. We'll bring it back when he's finished with it. A truck was brought to take away the cart. Friends painted it green. It's the color of grass when it rains, a woman said. He would like that, said a man. So you could see they painted the cart green. The cart was moved again and parked at the Ebenezer Baptist Church, waiting. 2 mules were hitched to the cart. The mules' names were Bal and Ada. Ordinary mules for an ordinary funeral, the people told one another. This is what he wanted. The mule is a symbol of freedom, someone said. Each slave got a mule and 40 acres when he was free. Crowds surrounded the church, waiting in the April morning for the services to begin. Many could not get inside. They climbed trees and lampposts and stop signs, and they stood on parked cars. The roof of a Cadillac collapsed under some of them. Look at all the people. The church throbbed with the sound of singing. The songs were not sad, but there was a terrible sadness in them anyway. Men and women and children wept. The mules stood almost motionless. They flicked only their ears as the coffin was carried from the church and placed in the cart. At the command, Balaneda began pulling. The cart was not heavy. The coffin was not heavy. The man inside of it was not heavy. His great spirit had been the heaviest part of him. It could not be kept in a coffin. The cart rolled through the streets of Atlanta, past the Georgia state capitol. Sometimes the crowd sang as it passed. We shall overcome, they promised. And sometimes they stood in holy silence, and the only sound was the rumble of wooden wheels. Look at all the people. Men walked in front, holding the reins of the mules, and the widow walked behind it, her grief hidden by her veil. At Morehouse College, the mules obeyed the command to stop. The coffin was taken into the college quadrangle for a second service. Outside the college, another crowd pressed forward. Bells pealed, more people sang, and the second service ended. The coffin was carried out and placed in a hearse for the drive to the cemetery. Is it over? Someone asked. It will never be over, replied another. What he stands for lives on. Balaneda were taken back to the farm. For them, it was over. The simple wooden cart was returned to Cook's Antiques and Stuff. It had only been borrowed. Martin Luther King Jr., Historic Site and Preservation. Now, there were many offers to buy it. In the end, it was sold to the King family and placed in the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Site. People walked around the cart now. They lean across the velvet rope, that separates it from the crowd, and they stare. Men take off their caps. This is the humble cart that not so long ago carried greatness. So that cart, this is the real picture of the cart. You see, they painted it green, and there's the two mules. Okay, now if you want to see more, you could actually see videos of the real funeral. All of the pictures from this book are taken from real photographs the day of his funeral. So you just go ahead and you could go to Britannica and type in MLK funeral, and you will see the real pictures of the cart and the funeral procession. All right, guys, thank you very much.